Me ni monyam ni awini ni bedin komo awie Ura Farouk Al-Wahab, or a product of the Afro-Asia Institute and Karl Franzens University, Graz, Austria. He's a globally certified and experienced diplomatic investment consultant. He's an expert in international relations, both for Africa and the world, politics, as well as governance. He's well endowed and fairly balanced in African and international security affairs and state protocols. Al-Wahab. Dia kana dos me kasa me kan enye ne be. Me jide be bia akoboko
inshallah. Okay.
And niama ekoso within our political space. Yansha CMFM Happy FM. Abato up until year abato no party ba ko se won tiase na wo dia akwa down court. Who ni saying?
No. It was this particular studio, this particular seat. So now, brother, my producer name from Pondi, they were here, and I did say, so if there is any election, be a very highly competitive, from global perspective and then also analytical perspective point of view, and Ghana's geopolitics, so it is not as easy as everybody thought. And at that time, they were like, oh, said you should say MPP, free SHS, and all that. Because at that time, Nobibeka said the opposition or the presidential candidate on the other side, I'm referring to President Mama, nobody gave him any dog chance. Because the campaign MPP started and MPP almost body politics ni shake up. Free SHS was actually the deal. And you know behind him say it was a done deal. But some of us we saw it different. We saw it different and realized that there's going to be a very hot competitive game. Reason being said, the main three factors are a go into politics in African country or any part of the world. In Ghana, the history of the country, we have never had a situation that certain president is being contested by a former president. People didn't look at it from the angle. But in that case, that was what was happening here. So three things ahead of that election, and I say we are consider. And the three things, one of them is the economic factor. That is the economy general view. The economy general view, all the time, certain president in incumbent, they are challenging on my government that, on your president that, into any economic records to show, than to say the party manifesto. But in this case, it was not. The former president also has economic
track record
to show. And the economic track record, BBI, inflation, currency, investment, infrastructure, BBI, holistically, alcohol. Then the second level will be the incumbent factor. The incumbent factor, His Excellency, the certain president, at that time, he was an incumbent. And he said, he will use the government resources, incumbent factor, or mobilize resources easily. Ministers, or Pekas, Obenya, Manaba. So the incumbent factor, if it was against a president, another candidate, we need a certain some of these things. But in the case of His Excellency, also the former president, also Ayibida. And also the protocols and also the advanced party and also the security because why vice and president, why minister then to also a certain crowd. And to social the incumbency ratio now, the parameters will not be more than 10:3 as it used to be the case. But this one should be about 10:8 or 10:7 apart into a close. That is another competition. The last one is the charisma level. The charisma level has to do with president of the sitting president, or incumbent, or Kobebia Nahokeka, Oni fubi abeye namfo oni community bi abeye namfo waye enwuma bi wo community bi wa bie hospital wa ko bie school bi wa ko ye road bi nti ne charisma no ekohom na wo se wode otwa yie o baabi but the former president su ko baabi a the charisma level no is not only referred to omo personality no but then engulfed with all these factors on the charisma level no bon say on so akosi hospital baby yan complete chroma for no hwe say so no na ba ya oba be wie wakoye sugar factory bi wo baby yan bie ebi a chroma for na adwun be ban say yan traso de na politics on no ba oba be wie. So these are the three stretches that goes into a heat when a former president contesting an incumbent president in the case of Ghana. And no, a brush it off and a brush it aside. Anything our friend say, free SHS, this policy. Yes, the policy direction of free SHS had come to stay. The former president dare not say no. It has become a national asset. Until now, the voter at the damn minute, reasons have said no. So they move to the next level. What is the next level? Same Mary, and now Unia, and now or pregnant, and or that we bury near then call the next village for hospital. But your hospital is in locality, but politics in TBI. I'm saying this not because of that, but then two of them, they all do the same thing. And people will now move ahead to vote on other matters. And some of those matters and is what influence in the elections. One, campaign. When the former president went underground, campaigning, he was doing, if you need about 7 people in the MPP and the NDC themselves, those ministers those MPs making noise today, the 137, no. Good number of them would have lost their seat comprehensively, totally flat. But the former president campaign in the beer then impacted results na
So former president campaign had a ripple effect.
Exactly, because the campaign NDC for 1 year anyway. NDC MPs, they didn't do any campaign. They were rather concentrating on Agenda 2024, most of them. They realized, they thought, it was a done deal. The president can win. That was their mind. And for that matter, it was already a foregone alternative. MPP are taking lead. And they were rather concentrating post-failure of the former president so that they will see where they will align themselves. Happy FM. Blocks who is going to lead the party and who will be the new block of NDC. That was their concentration. And to look at the marginal Central region alone. Look at how Greater Accra. Look at other regions, even Ashanti region, other regions. And Nebisa said, which of the NDC MPs and a year that campaign for to get what they got? No. They didn't do anything. You didn't see any campaign. Billboard, you didn't see them. Billboard, if even the presidential candidate, because the incumbency factor, share billboard of His Excellency Nana Dankwa Kufuado. And in the MPs. What they call from Accra to Kumasi to a Jan billboards. Is that not the same thing that President Mama did to Nana in 2012, 2016? It is the same thing. So it tells you a billboard doesn't count. It tells you a posters and it doesn't count. So this is a close neck-to-neck elections ever held in the history of Ghana. The idea is that an incumbent president being contested fiercely by a former president. So if you look at it from the ratio now, you realize the figures that you saw from point it will not be easy for any of them to have that margin that they claim to be having. It is not possible. And lo and behold, that's where we ended. And I also said the amount for heighten up, amount for stimulate the idea of insecurity. Thinking the country was going to be plunged into any chaos. I diffused that content and that assertions over years. This is not the country. We don't have that. Because if we have a country, now we need any military operations and you have a green bush, totally green bush, cassava and a plantain, any cocoyam, any coconut necessary. You can't have a civil unrest. A bear rock the whole country. It's not possible. You don't have where you need any rebellion, terrorism activity, any affiliation be a cause. So the country cannot be plunged into crisis. Coupled with the fact that this country, among the countries of Switzerland of Africa, when you talk about cross-tribal marriage and cross-tribal marriages, Ghana is the first on the continent of Africa because we don't have tribal blocks, no demarcations, no frontiers. City of Accra, the west, Ubeshia Ubi, Tesemi Amiti, Volta Wom, Ashanti Wom, North Wom, Basa, mess up. Do you understand what I mean? Farouk Al-Wahab, the first thing that comes to your mind, North, Anamebwa, why that Wala, Tisala, Daben or whatever. Oh, but if you are to ask me, I trace my roots, I'm from Amfoiga in the Volta region, so you misfire. Do you understand what I mean? You misfire. But what is a member of so Volta? What is Al-Wahab there? But you got it wrong. So this is the kind of country, and many others, Ubeshe Ubiwaha, ne papa, Kwapim, ne mame, Ubese, ne mame for Ashanti region, ne grandfather paternal, Ufrivota, ne grandmother maternal, on Suzu free, your friend is saying, Braha for region. Accra no kwana waha. Where is your father? I don't know where he is. Forget about my father. Enti say, if you want to see a country, now politicians need to scrutinize it, almost try some better, almost best stimulate say fight to be my. It is an advantage of them. Said if there was a chaos, then one would do X, Y, Z. But that was not the case. I said to Frimpong, I said to that time, no, Ukoliga na Owaha. Okay, say, Yanshe, and then I predicted, say, we might experience the first time as a coalition government. Brother Pajokai, you remember? Because there is a coalition government, then supposedly any country be or say or believe in democratic credentials. No, that is the country. This is the listen. So 137, and one a year. What do you need? What do you need? Go into the opposition side and bring those people who are liberals, not the very far right or far left. Bring the liberals. Now, Omer support. That would have been a click. But because a winner takes all, and into the dome could be a parliamentar, now Omoko, so who is the majority and who is not the majority. And on that basis, leading into the election, post-election, and the DBD say, you be a re-election. Winner, with Matthias, women, I'm not surprised, and I've never been surprised over the event. The reason being said, yes, our democracy, Ghana hasn't got all out mature democracy as we claim to have. But we have only political tolerance. We don't have democracy that you think we have. No, it is not true. Political tolerance goes into allowing people to have a free finger to vote. Yamo biasum gidi baba krana ye settle. That is political tolerance compared to a country like Uganda, compared to a country like Congo, compared to a country like Cameroon, compared to other West and then Sub-Saharan, Central and then South African countries, you know. The reason they say these countries, you know, they don't have political tolerance. And to also be to say, your friends say, you were in Museveni, or Bobby Wine, no de a year guni, no opposition leader, no agunu. Dr. Besije, no gunu handcuff, no denakushim, 3 months before the election, no them, you election our section. We don't have that. We have political tolerance. But when you talk about democratic credentials, any democracy, if we have indeed a good democracy, there are certain things that you can't call it democracy. It's very undemocratic. We do a lot of things.
What are some of the things?
One, about say Omoko Parliament, now ye transition, the 8th Parliament of the 4th Republic. Now who they see her, now who they vote. Interestingly, Yabenya opposition person being who is an outgoing, and for sure, my good friend, the first ever most African longest serving MP, Wababe Speaker of Parliament. Are you getting me? what can we do as a country? What we could do as a country, you know, not at that time elections in United taking place, you know. That unnecessary noise, military court, how any did that no more, you know. That was fine democratic dispensation, that is freedom, free will, etc. But it's perfectly undemocratic. Now, Ababedu said, Yenino 137, 138, one this, one that. What do we need? We don't play politics at that point anymore. You play the national interest, and then you play what the Ghanaians sent you people to go and do. In this regard, you know, we are looking at how best that these two politicians will realize the importance that the Ghanaian voter is now wise. The Ghanaian voter is no more stupid. The Ghanaian voter is no more foolish. The Ghanaian voter is no more coward. They've spoken. So what do you have to do? Come down and then sit as a country and propagate the agenda of the national interest. What is the national interest? Defend my education, defend my defense, defend the security, interior issues, economic issues. Are you getting me? All sectors, every economic sector, where we call it ministerial sectors, you know, it is to impact the economy of a nation, giving a triple effect of what? Impacting the life of your citizenry. That is what the whole thing democracy is about. But in our case, our democracy is only preparing my finger, my thumbprint, and oh dear, mamonko, mamunye dede, ye pasumje, what you say. Look at where now. When was the last time after elections, Yehu said, Islamic ulama, Islamic council, Maslachi, national imam, so kobompaye, emompaye magana masumjema, what to be done? You elections, no. What to say? The Christian community say, yemompaye magana, what to be done? Because I had a revelation, no, politicians engineer. A government, you know, a peaceful election. Or no any government in Nunya, not Bibimra, near Nyayan, but here we are. The woman who am I, Ghana, I glow for Jesus. A may a bompire, no more handkerchief in a white Timisa Ukrumha, and I'm a boy ahead of elections. Where did that Ghana press and Paibono Muyano, Yayan both Maslachi, any access are sorry for Ghana away. Empire na yebo ama politicians no so called say omunya the right thing na country ninya ahoto no sampire ne yajai obati sampire we bibie ma any fasting na sorry for year
next 4 years
that hypocrisy
enya empire no nkwampo revelations
toys. You know, only their toys. Those boys are clever. Some of those pastors, they are clever. Are you getting me? It's a political season, electioneering season. They must also eat. Abambedi di kakra. Do you understand me? Couple with the fact that Corona ma omo revenue conform. What I say? To the extent, shamefully, first time in the history of Ghana, that we get an Islamic cleric, Muslim. I'm saying this with emotions and passion and anger because I'm a Muslim. So a Muslim will sit and defy what the Allah, Almighty Allah, Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, have told us, that you cannot speak the mind of He God. How much more do you sit on national radio and then command, instructively say, Allah can't you must be, I'm sorry, you must be a crazy man. We don't have that in our mosque. You don't say somebody said that I want to have a breakfast with Jesus. And I say, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, nafi nameba kurane Jesus adameba na prophet ada. We don't have that in Islamic context. But these elections, we saw all of them, all in the good name. Say, give the prophecies, let the highlights. Now from Musun Shom no Musun publish it. Now kakra. These are things that we see before elections, but after the elections, you know, some prophecies, you know, away. But what I say. Now, let's put it aside. Bakusu Wantia said, yes, democratic dispensation, and then what goes into democracy. And he said, if from 1957, and if yaya elections, abe pemine, mebajo utiemi, naya babenya the so-called First Republic, I explained what is first, second, third republic. People didn't know over here. First republic, second republic, third republic. The fourth one, Abema 8 parliaments. So say Yabenya 8 parliament. Now a fourth republic there. What really any problem say? Every election, next 4 years, Baba, we have to change voters card.
Happy FM.
What kind of democracy that we think say we are learning, we're picking, or we are emulating? I don't see UK, I don't see Germany, I don't see Botswana, I don't see Namibia. Infant politics, political country, Omukok, Namibia. 1980 no independence. 1990, 92 and no independent. Or voters ID card back home. That thing rolls on automatically when you're 18 and so you have national ID card. So why were we having a national ID card running side by side with election
voters
ID card? So next 4 years, somebody would wake up and challenge the voters ID card. And the money spent on voters ID card, money spent on national ID card. Compare the two. Now compare Kolebua will be that former or deliver. Compare Ubia or T Ukrum Mikrum. Now that we bury my identical hospital. Does it make sense? Is that democracy? Democracy is not whereby somebody goes out there and join a queue and vote without being slapped or slapping somebody. And that's you making noise. That is what Ghanaian democracy, our politicians, our parliamentarians, the governance and the government structure tells us that this is what is democracy. It is a shame. Do you understand me? And because of this misunderstanding, that leads us to where we are today. 2012, we were in court. Do you get it? 2016, there was no court issue because there was an overwhelming balance. 2020, there is a court because one says we are new. But Mami Misa Sefa says still, democratic nation, beacon of African democracy.
Are we really a beacon of African democracy?
Where? Ghana? No. What are you talking about? Who? Janan American? Say a bro fire chair, no. Me pedocho mu say, okay, say gateway. I'm for destinations how can gateway. Gateway is a security, a watchman. We a watchman. Obi teacher ho no na I with the best. What are you talking about? Me say, you need democracy for Ghana. Maybe we are yet in the process. You need Sudan. Your political tolerance. There are two things that we have to know. Me ba what I say. Obi nko momienye din yan twan 4 years ne beso sesia eno ya political tolerance mamu nko bush mo obi ankoko munya abotre what you say democracy no ubehu the importance of the other role obi so what the other party will play obetima aboa the national income obetima china the national development agenda no okwa any friend democratic nation yeni sa democracy here now 2012 the election petition no until there will be a certain kind of proposals court no we say and about 2016 and one would have expected after 2016 elections the democratic dispensations the things all that goes into election we are back to what?
It's also a new democracy. Then where do we get this phrase from? Democratic dispensation.
Oh, what did I mention? I'm just quoting what we have. You don't get it. I'm quoting what we have. So if we have that democratic dispensation now, we went to court 2012 to learn, to study. We went to 2016, no court. How do we go back to the same court in 2020? And we are claiming to be the beacon of African democracy. That is my question that I'm asking. And Yabedu Situational, still who endorsed what paper? Party agent. Or say I'm signing here. Party way seminar. Indeed. On one signing here when there's a heat from the party or say my signature I'm signing here. And besides simple question say, when a call center or your infant or your minor, I know on your bed the 18, and on your bed the 20, I know cry a voters card.
Voters ID card.
And it's so cry voters ID card. That's how the pink sheet in the man, so blue sheet or green sheet in the man. So on sign behalf of the party. Is it difficult to make a photocopy of the ID card no attach it? And we saw no idea. Is it difficult? Did we do that? We didn't. And timelessly, every time there is an argument, I signed, I did not sign. And to share, and then I be leading into the Supreme Court. While we need applications of applications. Ababe do say, there was situational, how do we call it? The state judges, the Supreme Court judges, that's supposed to be busy with other constitutional things as in the country, sanitizing. All of them. And they say, the country is on standby. Ubia Soriano or public office or civil service office, Krana, Obakono, or Shani television or glue. Or share. What they know you to a fatuo, because in a party, either argument for or argument against. Heading national income and they affected, national output are affected, national input are affected. Workers' contribution is also affected because we've come to understood it say, yes, your court there, Okotu chief executive share television, that's what you asked me here. Some of us have remarked and said, yes, democracy as we so claimed, and into Yanko court. But some of us have also remarked, say, it is not possible, say, any Ghana, not Supreme Court Chief Justices, or no abejina ho, abeso president him was sworn in, or before Parliament, or Jano Kwama Nukofi, Yamani drink wanom, Oma dining, Oma whining, a sign of national solidarity, beautiful, red, gold, green flag, national anthem, black star, yabo, was salute to be. Waja president ama parliament, speaker of parliament, wafo no car, ukofi, mo, why are there? One wa make president in there, anamebwa. The person comes back and mounts a bench. Then you come to him. Sameba, now my election was not fairly done. Mentemi hwase, me pa chaw. Yanto foforo, masimano no. I don't want to go into the arguments and etc. and the process. Some of them you'll be a little bit too much emotional and talk, excuse me, as Americans will talk nonsense. You understand me? And you will leave that side. Primarily, one should know, say, there were how many Supreme Court judges? 17 and answer 15. Papa, I was saying.
Happy
17 or 15. Judges, Supreme Court judges. Let's see, Omi said 15. 15, find out. Well, let's base on 15. The first sitting, the first panel had in the middle of the court the Supreme Court Chief Justice of the land himself sitting there. Ono na swear president in. Ono na betina ho. Na you 15 Supreme Court judges. Your first set no 7. But what they say? Who is at the center? Chief Justice. And the Chief Justice knock first case down. He sits as the head. One in the colleagues, 3 here and one middle. I was expecting, say, the other members, that is the Chachu and Co, would have raised even that issue of the panel setting for the first time. Because what does it tell? What it tells you is that case a bother on constitutionality, an election petition before court, and yet MPship and your member of parliament that you can say and shut down here too much. But presidential election Abedu Supreme Court judge a court, it tells you that is the apex court of the land. What does it tell you? It tells you there's a high possibility case in the bad day review babam possibility review babam. Now look at it, it's interesting. Supreme Court Chief Justice not a medal or yet 7. Next review bama. You can't bring a junior judge to come and sit in the middle. It's the same Supreme Court judge. Chief Justice never tell. And the review no banoko. Unakuko review be about the 2 become an I-11. On man a beche. But what I say. So one would have expected, the first challenge, in my view, if we are talking about democracy, I would have to challenge, ABS 2012. Supreme Court Judge, Chief Justice, so you elevate from there. They reserve first so that in case of at a point review upon review, appeals upon review, to add the numbers and then balance the equation. But when it you are starting with the Supreme Court Chief Justice Netiho. With the review or the two Nabaka Nameboa or the two Baka, do you think say junior judge and a barber chair? One a chair. And you know, I know that for good in China middle or not middle. And you call review be my two Babaka number 11, about two be do 17 instead the chairman. And there is no point. Say you better waste the country's mineral resources. There is no point. You bet me derail the processes of advancement. Say you swear in that president now.
Happy effort.
We should allow because 4 years. Now that brings me back to the point of one thing that I'm saying, and I say it again. Let me be challenged by anybody. Tell me one single benefit and the credibility, sensibility, the cleverness and importance of say. Still a country who was 64 years of independence. Now Kwakofa ministers appointed and say, Udroma Babegu Parliament now by Greli Womu. Monchame 8 Parliament of the Fourth Republic, 1 minister, a president, are introducing. 1 minister, president, are introducing. 1 nominating, call him designate. Yadenaba. Wako, I'm a president now. Questions you could hear no idea. Enquire my wardrobe.
Even Zida.
Bache Biasida. Chairman, 1 minister designate. The colleagues in parliament. I say ya greleno. What is the vision? Yes, we there 1 person. But what to be there? Into what is the point? So who was the president in the time? And you the president too. What is the point? So we are politicians. Marco Parliament da. When him said that exercise na mo no. It is just only a funny democratic. How do we call it? A constitutional requirement. It's a funny. Interested and serious nations, they've aborted the whole thing. Bra. It is what we have. Now the most interesting is that this is a president. Yes, was sad. Returning ministers why introduce woman or sado maba enti mo se mo ko grili woman no papa mo grili woman no yan hwa hwan na ebeba se yese wan pass enti yamana kofi.
Don't you believe that this time around something of that sort can happen? Papa,
something of that sort will happen. Have you checked your records and your files? Say how many are they? 13 26 with the chairman. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you. Now at 13. Which country on earth are the minister designate appointed to be grilled? You busan questions. Onu ria or sorry if you see to so no ko changing jacket no so better e be bubusa the young minister. Are we correct?
Azuma kamba bubusa no.
Are we correct?
Because I've seen a year one ya point to
Asla. Dr. Matthew Poku Prempe. All of them they come back. Now I bet say no sabe busa questions.
Happy
and so no busa questions sir. What do you think? Entisha papa country we say comic reliefs cantata show any game you patch a country beer because we are hypocrites and they don't want people I'll say it because mini certificate. Are you getting me? Mini CV. Obia me for me CV me for me pay job me government work that me Ghana official no civil no public nothing me minister so ma ba both all of them o me ya me nan for they know me no ka say we do ha no ma for all them cause some now you know I don't care because I will not come to you as a friend the very day I appoint you a minister no that is the end me friend will be. Because I'm from because I don't need anything from you. But let us stop. Let us talk about the national discourse in a positive way. Say, with the 13 members are better now. Papa shared the kind of questions.
Happy FM.
Alphabet questions. JSS questions, with all respect to most of them, but then with respect also to Ghanaians, say, we don't settle on some of these funny questions. We don't settle on some of these immature questions. Some of these amateur questions from a person who is a legislator or law Amamedia Kofi the next 4 years. Do you listen to some of the questions?
I do.
How? Me come client and be an but I think say I perform very well on the international front, so I'm not bad. Sir, Obejinaha, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Speaker, when you're giving the nod, are you crazy? Giving what nod? Ask questions that impacts the Ghanaian's life, that enforces the advancement of what? Economy, that creates job, that gives hope, that gives the Ghanaian what we are looking for, that builds up our infrastructure, that builds our social services, that builds our defense, that makes the country and everything strong. These are questions that the person or worker sector now be jina no agyan say obaka say bribi udidi maami bi oton koko atem okay pasian me kai si ama tan say kwaya minister obedi na atem biem why na stupid obaka say an me kwa kodi na atem
ene me pa chew menye bio
na bi ono de on kan o se menye om se pa chew adwobre. This is what we settle on at the sectors as questions from legislators of the country. When somebody needed say obebisa a technical question, into me bisa me ho say we nipa 275 being parliamentarians, and they were 13 selected from 137 here, 137 there. Must we repeat those people who have been nominated as a minister designate still to be part? Abra also a contingent over 120 something eteho. Which country does that? It beats my intelligence. It beats my stupidity. It is any panel. On any colleagues. Now, question now. It is only personally powered by nature. The questions are what? Personally powered by nature. Not questions say, sector na okono. Papa, nipa saying ene ye hwajuma. Why any research? Sector na okono. Internally generated fund. Job creation. Now the whole sector no. A work on debia budget na de koto hono. 3 months na wako hono. Na budget nasa. No, I call it for contingency through the Ministry of your friend saying finance. No, surgeon.
Happy
one generating income. Trade on generating income. Fisheries on generating income.
Agriculture.
Agric on generating income.
Defense.
Security even generates income more than any other one generating. Defense J budget now. What's the media? Soja. Yeah, they are borders. And it comes to the question, say, either the panelists or the panel members, without due respect, and that's a compromised atmosphere. Meaning what? What it means is, how does a legislator of a country, what a parliament, knowing the sensitivity and sensitive nature of the ministry, i.e. defense and then interior and security. Now, will be to me, besides the defense ministry, how many speed now, you know, global, and terrorism, how many boats? Speedboat now. Mr. Speaker, I have 4. I have 5. Oh, Nyankopon Ghana. And to minister na munankasa that minor question na alphabet question. Who said this question I will not ask because what in national television worldwide and I will say with speedboat 6. And it is a Togo no bakona so the 80 bar.
Wakum.
Why no we? It can the MP, the legislator now we panelists. Oh, what's that question you sir? Can the minister designate also know sir? That question I will not answer. But what I say? Minister of Health, Ebemanto desk. PCR testing. Kotoka International Airport company no or say the report has not reached me. I'll find out. But what I say? Aviation minister designate airport ni anedia. Onim company no. Onim care company we see her. Foreign affairs because we are dealing with foreigners incoming, outgoing. So they are stakeholder. Foreign affairs say, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm yet to find that the report has not reached me. Report no cause swimming in my. You understand? Ministry of Finance, Beba, on Susunim. And technically, ironically, Ghanaians and then the minister now or sector no onim. And me met my family kiosk. At the Akosiko International Airport, they will pretty them because nobody seems to know who brought it. And these are questions honorable members of parliament atnase na sefa the all can is when you are giving the nod.
You can congratulate you, cry.
Yeah, oh yeah, of course, I need the amount. So me and for. Say any serious nation. Oh yes, I interview no. And now that grilling no. Winning no. The first thing no, they dispatch you because when you're incoming, when you continue recall into court nekofa nefabra. Question mantis will be able to say. Ayawaso, Minister of National Security. Also, Behe Sasadi and Ibin Sibium. But report as to Nipa Koyano. Police force uniform be from Nanya. Military uniform by from Nanya. National Security uniform on baby free. And this only baby free near reporter. Serious nation. Mimi feel say it is void and completely irrelevant. See about Grele or because near Bibia no be abekano. Now banning ya conform no yen a juma moment in Uncle office no montoasono. Say if you say a Grele for Ghanaians to know there. How do you tell me say make office be moi and a Makwa reporting 2 years before election your report. So we are Grele where we are now swear in our minister our land cruisers yes are changing no. That time I compare reporting there but what is the need of that?
Happy FM.
But what you say? And don't touch Ye benya Minister of Parliamentary Affairs. Also Babet Nasi Mr. Sechimen Sabunsu. Journalists in this country, Mama a great service to the nation. Mommy say one minister, one your friend is saying committee, a year appointment committee baby say Daben Abraham S. Gratiam.
Happy FM.
Bajo. Young has a question, Baba. Parliamentary privileges, any omu loan, any omu car, any omu salary. Because I'm on your research bin, how much does a Ghanaian parliamentarian earn? About $9,000 or more. Young so be back as a salary next. So question the Baba Hana. Young so be back babu say minister say no Ghana dear boy a kaba kono ye S Gracia na agin for 4 years no enti say the nod no mawa ubetwa na papa sa question wa babu sasa de no ho no wan hwe dan koma mpie enti omo ba aba discuss parliamentary telephones enkonya like they did some years ago
some years back
enkonya na yete so no when we see ya chair one your office and the job 600 gidi vote budget. Do they vote the same thing into going to refurbish Makola market? Do they do the same thing into going to Agbogloshi? Is it the same thing they do at other places? Security issues and in Yamanema. Is that what they do? Is that the questions they ask? They don't ask those questions. They don't want to know. It is not their business because either say omonti asye what they ask, and I say any dahun, and I say amateur or immature politics and woman play or because Papa she said yeah, but what I say so when you're a whole minister and a sector team produces car, I'm talking about fisheries, Mauritania, on the fisheries and Morocco or the fish and a shan. Most and big countries in the world that one make kisika and Ghana Ocean is one of the best with species with all varieties. Now when your minister say betra wanima na ubusa ena moko campaign ya ma not na tuo no batubiem as mean tubiem we ni nipa da bi me hu ye reporting minister bia about recalling minister bia about bia no the report has not reached me before say ye be elections no. I'll follow up when I go back to the office. What's now? Nana do say a good president. One reshabu for 4 years. What now? Report to Zang. I don't know God.
I'm going to type it.
A grow with your a grow. I guess we Jerusalem. I had
Happy FM.
Happy 90.9 FM, not to go to and then Al-Wahab Farouk, and I'm in the Chinko. Number one, send me beside. Okay, sir, you mentioned 3 key issues.
Yes.
Done in the lead up to the elections.
Yes.
You mentioned
economy,
the economy,
incumbency,
and the charisma level.
These are the 3.
These are the 3. See, now in this, no, the candidates, the 2 major candidates, President Nana Dango Akufo-Addo,
yes.
former President John Dramani Mahama,
yes.
they were a bit
because they all have economy to
good.
show.
Now, you said then. The Ghanaian voters say are discerning, no?
Yes.
Or graduating, no, beyond
the policy.
And then
3 SHS.
Exactly.
1 man, 1 wife. One house, 1 district, 1 family.
One man, one wife.
1 man, 1 wife.
Mantio.
1 man, 1 wife. 1 district, 1 dime. 1 man, 1 wife. And then America said opposition at that time. NDC and Co. Obisi Mayor free SHS. Now what to also to party headquarters say it is not possible. What's a 1 district, 1 factory? What's a possible? Also Kaka say 1 house, 1 helicopter. Do you understand? They were raising policy. So
you counter with your alternative policies.
Now, I say, one more counter. I say, a short man cannot be a president of Ghana. These were the things that made them Ghanaians got pissed in 2016. Obi ka policy. 1 district, 1 factory in Wetmaye. 1 man, 1 wife. No, an attempt. That's how a nation is built. You don't expect to obey me. And to do but now, Parliament now green business. Moka assembly to my Papa. What the policy about? What the culture say? They cannot finish everything. What start to be? And also, come out with the policy. That is how a nation is built. You don't tell them so you can't do it.
So you don't just rubbish someone else's.
That is the problem. They were concentrating on personal attack. Personal attack of parliament. Your friends, presidential candidate. And Ghana has never had a president or a short before. Now he's a president. So do you go and live in Togo? It was very relevant. Match it. What's 1 district, 1 man, 1 wife? What's this 1 man, 2 wives? Then there's a Ghana member for you because 1 freedom and liberty to marry more. So you don't say it will not work. Policy is policy. But this time around, you know, on says watch it cleverly initially. Now, His Excellency, the former president, the campaign, it became too much of emotional attack. When you're possible. But when it got to a point, you know, I think he had good advices. And now he was saying, yes, free SHS mean to mean. What I say, or start here.
Yes, initially.
Yes, or a year community. Until he tries a community, say, no, CC hospitals be a young, you know, or call her, me baby, man, you ninty, and I want
to know how much of an impact and some of these policy discussions, you know, have on the voting pattern.
The voting pattern is MPP relaxed. The campaign we saw them in 2012, the campaign 2016, no, they relaxed. They didn't introduce 1 policy again. They were doing only rehearsals. And they were doing only ironing.
Was it because of complacency on their part?
That is what I'm saying, sir. They relax. Relaxing is complacency. But what I say. So now everything went into the slogan, 4 more for Nana. 4 more for Nana. What that crowd said, 4 more for Nana Wati. So that was the campaign. So they were concentrating this time around on the slogan. So they left the policies that they introduced in 2016, 2012. So they were short, but MDC was also a little bit unprepared. So if they had also set through and came out with a policy that would be socially balanced, now neutralizing the base. So who the free SHS about? Me so cry them in to sell them on employment side. So I'll make sure. So they are I swear my blood. I swear with my blood. Say Ghana ni biya benye jumaye. Sanka ono kwa employment liar. That is where the Ghana have a problem. It's not the economy inflation. Let the inflation go to 300%. If I have a balanced job that gives me an income, I wouldn't really be affected. Do you understand me?
Yes.
And now me sure say almost back that kind of a line. And also be raise extraordinary. And in the end, you know, acquire say acquire duplication. But what they say, the way can na counterbalance. Wouldn't mean man better than you. Yes, you are by being say to the sense say a kobaya ukada policy a buyer and your friend is saying disables way we ninano. These are policies, sir. You can call them say any major policies. But MPP did not reinforce the policy that they brought. Into a duplication of the manifesto of 2016 and Oma impacting.
Could it be because, I mean, there was a realization at a point in time, say, many of the promises that they made, they were not able to fulfill within that particular time frame?
That is where you see, say, you said you do this. Me, you, some of us who understand national development say, some of them are overemphasized. So, in that order, and in our country, we still are here bread. Because don't promise more and do less. Promise less and do more. That is where that is how the voter or they are to. And that is not what it's supposed to be. What is supposed to be, he said, realize at least not all, but sizable or marginable what amount of promise now we are na and graduate so people can easily understand say but Papa, in all fairness, and I've said it and I'll say it again, say but you see Angwele Minister of Trade.
Daben,
in Ghana, one of the things say Ghana Revenue Authority, Finance, one of the biggest revenue joint is the Ministry of Trade. Because if not anything at all, free money, unya free standard board. Free money, unya free food and drugs board. Yes, me de moi ba me ba register line e mono. Omzukofu e mono 10 bra. They bet you $3,000. Now me register mono. Near the mono call laboratory. Call ayi your friend is saying food and drugs board. Call pot club ni obi nom dia no e mo test. And the chemical ben no dey test the money papa.
We don't know co-pot. As they say, there's only a co-pot.
Can on the basis of the cheaper one.
Happy FM.
And so every day, importers they rise to call the car base you near Yegum. Friday no Friday no say a monom de banner, ye quarters say more won't be a yano. Correct directors car here to gum. She drinks. The contributor said that Ben Aminum who said, and Yama may be a Ghana importer. It's an import oriented nation. And Yama the banning in an call Papa. Juice crana and show a crana. Yes, a fab then for 3 pack original pack in the 24. O packing 6 a meal. And show we young cock. Obacono na Omatiano no. I didn't poison who's no man's already try. Free money. It's not different from standard boards. Free money. Says can you know moje. And it's a trade. Now a facility like Commander Sugar Factory. It is under your supervision.
Happy FM.
Let's say you bought $20 million car. Ghana tria, se fe tria, from point to be a tria. Ne a two machine a two. Ne si ho. Now watch man for ho. Ne you a dog near a dog.
And young run a crew from one grand a year. In Fidiania talk of Guhana and San
Era state because so best sign obey. Na yen me say. Yet me am a farming of sugarcane across because zone na one a whole nyina ya water ayi nti sugarcane very flexible and easier. Abra Ghana your consumption of sugar in this country in millions of dollars a year, in millions of dollars in Togo, in millions of dollars even almighty Nigeria, the West African belt. You need one serious state of the art built sugar cane factory like the one in Sihan. And the cow supply Ghana, supply Togo, Cote d'Ivoire, Obia no sugar Cote d'Ivoire. Senegal sugar consumption 10% of the total world, total Africa. Senegal 10% of total African
consumption. Senegal. Order keke. Na yan kope eye Nigeria. Yan pe Lagos nko.
Lagos State anaba Onitsha. Na yan supply ho. One, you are feeding home, no importation of rice. Two, the machine announcement is built to take about 2,500 workers with administrators and then laborers and everything all combined. 3 shift, 24-hour service. Papa, enti say, Baye Minister of Trade. Nessa ya grelo ni musawa. Your questions me on say, Honorable Kuja Trabla Kwabusa. A question be Jami Tim Kakrebi. And I ask myself, say, now, sir, you were also in government 4 years ago, 8 years ago.
Happy FM.
And this question, you answer it yourself. Say, then I'm also what did you do? Papa, fairness is the key word of the game. What you didn't do, and you knew, say, so I didn't obey. What comes say we should not my comparison of trade shows and what? Young compare what? What do we compare ourselves with, and what should we compare results with? We compare results with existing results so that you get to know the fairness. And it's not like today you sit here and therefore you ask this. But when you were there, answer me what you also did. I'll be very rude if in case come a nominated member into a idea can I refer to what you also did it. Because most of them, you've all been ministers before, or you've been in government before. What did you do? And Abedu Bibi said, Parliament back again, Abaye advising and a counseling forum. Minister Amateur sector. Ghanaian, how many students, how many of you, and not even the orientation and what goes into the sectors. Minister of Fishery, then a Juma, and he knows what Timmy Rezi, what Timinya, and then that's what Timmy Rezi employment. These are questions, sir. How would you be able to employ people? Who were chief directors, sir? What year a Juma? What got pension? No 1 man extra what? 1 man extra contract. Extension. Or got 2 years. Or call extension of a consultant and a salary near times 2 chance or who students are or my master degrees, PhD holders. What's your experience? Nippons menya 58 years. Now no muswa Juma sector 40 years. Nso kwa Juma no 10.
When you're 58.
When you're 58.
Why you Juma
40. Ni age I want to record 58.
Why you Juma ministry for 40 years.
40 years. Why chief director for the past 23 years. Uti free market 10. And to call register general department. Depia Penyibi Abasis and the date of birth. Because only country among other African countries are Yetimika se birth set. Oh mama dio yama papa di yempe beye foforo. And nobody challenged the legality of it. Because all of them they benefit. And to cry birth set dada yempe yepe new one so that you can adjust change. No I swear affidavit no they better so be date of birth you say. Uba hune real age a chen obituary notice. How do you say I retire at 60? Now with 3 days time now obituary family the 78 aba.
Happy FM.
Sefa, does it make sense? What's it?
Happy FM.
I retire 60.
Or retire 60.
Okay.
No, I would 2 months.
Now, instead, oh, yeah, but Busumi Munuachi.
Oh, we are Bisumi and Munuachi.
We are no post and so no.
78.
78.
Yes, I can't hold Yentiman Koji.
Maybe within 3 months, no DS become. Who's the young woman got a Viapim and Yamis dog? In Viapim.
Number work a beer minute. Mata Banga. Minutes, oh, but no, so 25 minutes, 15 years, still I feel when you're 35, when you're 25.
Happy FM.
On your knee,
but what I say,
God, how you need,
and you have students, I graduate to Mgu Street. So now, yes, say a better parliament, I get as Gracia. na sika for the
600,000 Ghana.
yes ska S gratia no ye betimi di akọ bie companies S gratia no ye betima open up. Even let me say it, and then patro journalist mumusa, which country on earth and the minister Jessica a professional doctor? What country on African continent minister je 42,000 Ghana cedis monthly, excluding the dog allowance, the kerosene allowance, the clothing allowance, the household, and then the watchman and security BBR, excluding net 42,000. Now, my medical doctor 12,000, 11,000, specialist consultant.
Happy FM.
Or nurse, other part of the world, nurses be surgeon nurses, doctors, consultants.
Yes. Yes.
Now, a nurse in a salary 800 Ghana cedis, 1,001. O school teacher, wachra dear sa ne salary enu 1,200. But minister ko ekoji 42.
We've been high.
When you know say papa, and I'm catching as a country why a hypocrite. There's no hypocritic nation of the world than this country. But let me tell you, Sika country we want. It's one of the richest countries on earth. Share country who all mineral resources, as I keep saying. Resources be a demand be on commercial volume, or the liquid one is I fuel as the account. Ghana and Timi are harness the opportunities ewo the oil sector. Your friend said the local content. Yentima harness. Ghana tinahoma water in your way. I call region so the senior Nigeria ni na importo. Ghana tinahoma laundries. Sri Lanka for any senior maji $10,000. Ghana tinahoma divers. Abra Shama will be to be the whole 24 hours. Ekwachi a yukusi ba a bakon, koto bakon. Yentimi. Painters, Yentimi. But what I say? Now look at the volumes and the huge money, and come back to talk about the gold that we have. 100 years, take it, and I'm giving you a research. Any Ghanaian also a fact. Mineral Commission, Omra. 100 years, 64 years independence. 36 years before independence, the last 100 years, Ghana and Timi mining gold every chroma. You get 10% of Ghana gold mine. 10% of this country gold is not gonna cover a minerals commission could be some say total land of Ghana you gold and send no more money. It's not up to 10%. What problem is saying? What's your problem? Sefa, 100 years record of Ghana today. Billions of dollars are brought from Canada, Australia, Russia, Ababeka, China, Ababeka, any America destinations, UK, the Onshadan. What you say? Ono may say the last 100 years, after Ghana mining gold reserve,
10%.
only 10%. So far.
10% is in Timinya, Sikapudu,
billions and a co.
What's the eternity? Takwa said the eternity.
Yes, or what's a town? Shatakwa town. They say Abrofuna Fenyansa. What do? What they do in say so more mining beam or by exploration or better large scale mining. Concession no to Australia. No geological report or has satellite. No we are Wabaji land no what share the whole community 18,000 kilometer square. 18,000 friends hectares. Or we any no report to New York document no. Fe. Well, you know, not there to Australia Stock Exchange, not there to Canada. Land or ton less than $300,000, $400,000. I could share mineral commission by $20,000 fast a year documentation. Well, you know, at the stock exchange, $15 million, $20 million. 3 days once a free stock purchase, yato. What the $1 million less? I to talk land cruiser, I'm a state official. I may be a woman, high dying. I'm an man. Now, no, they are begging 15 million. In the country, can't you perfect your own documentation of the land? Can't you perfect that? Can't you perfect your own documentation? Now, Bronini method stock no. How much does it take? Master, geological. So now, dear do you know where they pick the geologists? Geological survey department Ghana no matter how workers in Brunino or the gadget back home. Workers who issue Ghana geological survey for retire for the present. And woman frustration am my area. Omako for me no domco field. I could do to pits research. Geological report no you are putting the document together. Wa pay 30,000 their mom nyina kofi or the cost stock exchange. Why perfect documentation bag him wa dana say minister thank you minister of mineral resources science and no dana say no call. Abeji 15 million.
Near to ho.
Ubetra na bakoy. Che baby abakoy.
Near to ho.
O wia na country a watch broni within 1 year $20 million free of charging. Now wafa plate now call Holland now kwaje $25,000 $600,000 $500,000 so the baba immigration electrification immigration digitization or by passport office digitization or whatever your friend is saying Holland government it's a loose they don't care.
Happy 90.9 FM na so utino mene Al-Wahab Farouk oye development consultant international development consultant and I'm nene diplomatic consultant and I'm nene chuche enkomo eye and some na ya bro so no de do so na me de over 100 years Ghana gold no 10% penny too and na ye no gold near the big woman we there
was I
gold no
you need gold reserve
you need be
me sure. You gold reserve and cry any
you two gold or mommy.
But the answer reserve. The Bank of Ghana and backup in the gold reserves water. Because our stronger gold reserve and got inflation, the economy and flat because called backup. Diana Zami.
I'd say cocoa a sign at Tioha.
Now say a cocoa no. Share ye crow ye sabi ye was your fool. Once your cocoa no. West Africa, Yanni Cote d'Ivoire. Other cocoa producing countries, Ecuador, Dominican Republic, Ghana, what do I say? Gabon, small.
Happy FM.
Ghana, quality being here, Ghana, mass production, Cote d'Ivoire. Do you know, sir, when Ghana went into cocoa board, established a board, when Cote d'Ivoire tonight, they don't have cocoa board. They don't have a cocoa board. It is a management under the Ministry of Agri. With the what board balloon.
Happy FM.
Big board. Big board. Yenya problem. Spraying. Yenya problem. Pricing. Yenya problem. Payment. But what does it? Buying companies and produce buying companies near the private companies. What do you call or qua? Near just machine no or the cozy farmer no ho. Farmer nimshe
no buno.
70 kilos is to 55. No for gap. Abra will be anim, cocoa body aware, Ghana will be anim. Said the other farmers no. You don't need 2 products to make your country rich. You don't need 2. 1. You don't need 2. Of 30 million populated nation. Now gold every chroma say be we no. That's 100 years. One mining 10% of your gold. Sika buy na country ni timinya. Otimi selano. O university and go for that 2020. Nepa 20 in a room cubicles. O problem ne say untimi my university student loan. Na say ne papa ko bobosia ewo savings and loan. O problem is that won't mean create employment. O problem is that public sector, service sector won't mean opim. O problem is that ministers better than Silom Kajeze. When I go, the report when I go, I look into it. Minister Ben Akon office a chromo already. Now your countries will adopt the friend is saying, the permanent secretary for. You know what they do? What the minister ne koho until sector na okonase. I demonstrate clearly who omunyina parliamentary your friends vetting. Yeah, you clearly tell us that the Okikan crowd will need the Okikan.
Happy
And what do? Any serious nation, a technocrat and a chief director. Countries to say Botswana, Mania, Dadina, Omusu, permanent secretaries. The minister goes there as a political what? Advisor. Yeah, then call a minister. But then the minister holds the purse. Whereas in any serious nation, Europe near that, is the chief directorate, the management holding the purse. And to who management hold the purse, no minister have oversight responsibility. Yeah, then they discard my minister and to aside the government. No. And yes, I didn't think Ministry of Finance, your friends, Agric. What in my Greek budget, no, over her now, copy a different baby. Yes, a Greek ministry or no budget, no, cocoa board, na cocoa board, a cocoa bosia, a cocoa bibusia, or other ministry. Tourist ministry, until make one dime. Tourist ministry, until one dime. Now we do holiday 6 March. Labadi beach to me, ma, ya Gigi's cano. Over Konomi Nata, so be a crown and to my nest and naso. Omede, Labadi Hne Commando. Na Ministry of Yususon, Yamanika Krebi. And there's no supervision, there's no monitoring, there's no control. And to be Bahokrana, I'm sorry, Utim Kujina, you know, a beach or no shit in Oko. Kokenya. Kokenya or no fee say, what timid tourism? I am the second major income. Do you get it? Kokenya. Gambia crank as a come due mukuomo. But all the tourism, the dollars is stronger che will see this. Only apart from granite. When you need mineral resources to back up the economy, what they want your gold. American consume $10 million US on cocoa related products on daily basis. One day, $10 million. And it is a Ghana, our fair share of world cocoa, about 49% of world cocoa on the market. Now we call farms. Our Western region, Akrabia no one. Oh, David. On to me. When your friend is saying, oh, on to me. What do you mean, Loda? Not rather, no. What should I say? The Sunum Coca-Cola. Akrabia work Crasibiano or Fanta ananum. Because Sprite nanum. Or a cook. A culuno. More than so culu my home because the class I shall. Oh.
Happy FM.
Yeah, come. Oh, Maui.
Baba?
Yeah, come.
What's a signal?
Yeah,
and there's an issue ongoing that we have to discuss. It all boils down on some of the things here. Also, recently, police, frustration, asset in. People do not understand. Obi etimiko police ebedu DSP. No, no, I tuition and most work. Abra or you know what is happening?
Yentri Humra,
Cobra,
Yentri Humra. Happy 98.9 FM, not so good. So, you know, Al-Wahab Farouk, or ye international, diplomatic consultant, and a mini din common. And some na ya bro, so not dear. Minim say what to be. Now, one thing has become that clear. O mine, our approach to Enyama, our Mary Munino. Treze odwene ho entrasum nanso guan ye gusu ayeye me how no know. Have we not come to the realization say our approaches, our mechanisms, our strategies, our programs, our interventions and said that emfa ensunsan so papa bia mre enti e be jaya anase e besesem yehu ye empanyimfom di omdi omayanim yehu ye omuhu bi omo bi so omunte ensio etoye na wante ade tie wan hu fom entwe hu tambra yenko police insensem a wo kan say because enra make kan article be in one of the newspapers and a psychologist be a psychiatrist work say most of these police officers, no, they need a psychological evaluation and sana ya mama kwa kuyejima. After even omwa juma no krano, they still need that evaluation.
Yes. Menen bayajin. Others say, but there are more to it than only the psychological or psychiatric problems. It's not indeed, the major issue is not a psychiatric issue. Major issue is promotional motivation. And now most police or my disorganized. And now most police, I'm sorry, reality see so we are corrupt no. And our police je bribe no. And you more. Papa,
say a promotional motivation.
And no na ama affect omu. And you know the promotional motivation is some of them indeed, or a Ghanaian or a police, be a real good service person, personnel. Or one agent say, what did not see idea, obey a human papa. A be me yom who's you, not all of them then you. A be a human papa. But look at say your farm 2006. The first promotion I beba. So no nya graduate. Obenya 8 years and say no nya ababa kun. Bajo dey say.
In the year 2006, yes. Expect to say 2014.
Afena no obenya ne corpora. Wajire no ho ye adwuma. But in any other jurisdictions of the world, including the world police in including the UK, it is not the number of years that you serve, but the output, the input, the duties, the service delivery is what takes you into promotion. And what the person say, se nipa ne ya adwuma 8 years, obi obayire no ho investigator bu amapa wo bon tiase kra. And that investigator no ayire no ho ya adwuma, he goes home to sleep without food. Eba promotion ye promote omo batch no. Ni 8 years ni nuye enti ya mano 8 years ni ru ya edru a ya be select those ones de be bakane running into that could do the senior officers starting from DSP echo ne batch edu ha na bia jumpo but those no jump ja no omo ya corrupt obi anim said they are bad police officers when you say sifie when you ska toka the Marco school abroad. Now no genuinely or station hono or tin salary home or you su rasketia car obuaku onibi or DSP at the nature for trotro. Not those ones na omunya adwuma no omu yedan promotion be aneko and imagine say or be 35 years or be 38 years after no do DSP. After 23 years of police service and after 15 years of police service no now I graduate na fe na ne first year and to who say or adding age not the 8 years and now 4 years na sana ni tie year promotion abeka no ebu akwadu level be you have to write exams e bi mu ho they are clever intelligent why exam for them to promote him no ye fail no near promoting him colleagues and na mo mkumom ho no. So, and yes, sir, any pressure, but you are talking about a pressure from the service now when in the service, the selflessness. Anyhow, a person and can be a person or share or better than you know, not in a radar or be chamber hall or high dine. Name or share MTTU corpora. I be down 3, be down 4. Are you too late for him? In the frustration are setting in. Nema real school man to aso. Nere most of the police officers, with all due respect, nere eton etotokoko is legon kwano so. A man etotokoko ni body and do not police for him. And tebim sa imagine say me a corpora e won kra ha. Me ma me rema etotokoko, excuse me to say. There be. Ento ono ne de what the man 1 CD aban fabra ko no aje. Or dibia cotton cement. Now officer be no madam for dispatch rider, police in Krumha. On a do Saturday and no Cape Coast Road no so market or G 1 2 3 4 or ba no digwa kaswa market no abrema akoko ba ko. Abacha makoko. Ana papa o. O fame ho a ogi be 3 a oba no ato akoko 2 no amamba ko no de ko. Odi ni dwa odi ama ni re otu ni cha kata na motwa bi obeti na nan fufu no adidi. Asini dan kama. Majority I say beginning no now you a perfect officer. Senani amrea o si dan no na aka 1 year amana ko pension. Into the sergeant and the coffee after almost about 30 something years of service. And imagine Samre no
Happy FM.
Sending nua bia ko police service ma give advice ben or the bema. Do you get it? Advice ben or the bema. Sanadam fu bi wo police no hu de oya oji so nusu ko mo be sa. And we have said and we are saying say crime ayese ekoso ene ekoso no because you've detached them. We did not do barracks. Jan and one track community. Bubu police barracks and facility offices, crown administration. And your military no keep promo base. Police have to be within the community. They have to live with the community. Don't keep there. That's what you do airport police station now. We need 8, 1 floor. Now 1 toilet. Oba kono omo our kitchen. Omo the usage of the facility. And to what Sefa, which is one copper dynasty. And which is what the 1,700 Ghana cedi salary in the Bokwakusi. No.
Happy F.
Or better Doctor Space Wagon. And no Kada, Ebu Adi dear 2010. Or Kaskan Boma or the Kotoyi, your police ni or a corporal will sit down easily got tax as $40,000 to Chaka could sit down. He's not stupid. Because at the end of the day, the promotion crown farmer know what their pension. Why do you hold their promotions and you don't motivate them by promoting them to do the right thing? No, himself or your sergeant and or even who juma equia arrest papa, educate papa, you bet my promoting a ASP. Do you think so better because the salary need bit to take care of him? And to obey the right thing. No obey your women in chino. Watch that, oh papa. See police stations be chroma here. Okwa was a cover a sheet bra. Don't show case now. Kofa oblang stations sheet asa. Seva, we have a problem in this country, and we don't want to face the reality. But
I didn't think that we don't want to face the reality.
The reality is not in us. And I'm captured. So we are very. Democracy is about truth also. We are very undemocratic. Make an article be. One of the MPB, Mr. Kojo, sorry, so using your name as a reference. Or Mr. Central Region, baby. Or say Ghanaians should not judge Madam Howard Kumsin from speaking not the Queen's English. That does not make her an intelligent person. And English language is not our language. So don't judge somebody by the language.
But what language do you use as
Papa,
official language?
And Amibusa say, legislators in this country, by that what the MP said, I'm referring because it's a news item, so we all read, so there's no secret. Say English language, you find judge you will be competency ayate. Other now use to English language, any mathematics, Ama will be so on Happy
FM.
Because one pass English. What alternative have you given to people who failed English language? What alternative have legislators in the country made at the parliament, convincing and then telling the ministry, the parliamentary committee on education? And then the alternative solution, so be how we're clever. Examination pressure man to me failing. Or be back to mathematics 20 times failing in or back to English 20 times failing that failing but or cabro for grammatically perfect. What alternative do you have for that person as an MP? A cover so one MP brought for now we don't measure the performance by English language. But me and I'm coca brofo. Me fairly English there, many alternative in this country. Intimate concoction mechanic be an amempe. Maybe your friend is saying refrigeration mechanic, a bizarre amempe.
Happy
it's the alternative no him for. Why is the alternative? Give me the alternative and I'll comply. You don't have. Now Parliament said that more 9 languages. 9 languages. A local language. Otimika. Now, mammy, the fact that we are minister does not mean say wouldn't mean for you. Look, Tanzania, Uganda, Agatimi, Malawi, Kenya, obi to Kenya Parliament, Papa Brofun Piena no da, but we are legislator or 7 community, Uncle Cabrofo. Your Tanzanians are this Swahili, why a graduate on Tibrofo, why MP. Now, my dear, Moiram home, some Bacabro, for now they be tired. Nantisa, country band office were smart. Our democratic enough. Our 26 committee members, our woman parliamentary committee or appointment committee. Now, for minister or no, ya grelen no, because the other ones don't bar, Brofo no Babeka. One money metal non sumusatri. And the balance, they said, you suppose, if you want to do a clever governance, clever administration, and NDC betraho, and as NDC ministers, and you can say NDC Nikwa panel. It's supposed to be the opposite against the opposite so that you can deal with the subject. Do you expect, say, Esla, Ebaba betraho, Ebusa question, or say Chimensa, Aman Watching? No. Do you expect some Matthew Poku Prampe? Ebenya any of the ministers now better? What would sound question man watching? No. And Timor 137 members. Do you still have to include those ones from your minister then is this anything? Country Ben has a kind of cantata game no. Apart from Ghana. What the 13 ministers neighbor your friends say committee members neighbor. About the question, the integrity, the preparedness, the mental psyche, the know-how, the technology, the thinking, and the smartness, and all those things that you can talk about it. No, as I confirm, will be on no other time you will question or not prove our mind. How do you even go and ask? What audacity do you have to ask a person whereas you've not been approved?
You're on the same skill.
And to say, oh no, approve will be enough, so we are disprove. So, yes, I didn't say template. And I don't need it, in fact.
Rubber stamp.
Rubber stamp. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, rubber stamp. But the unim. Did I day?
Matcha said. And Mumusa said, Yamusa parliamentarian now, appointment committee nom to including Haruna. So, Omusa, Mr. Seche Mensabun Soba, said that Ben Yebeka Salo Sunimu. The laws that when another party don't have majority, the ministers never ban. No minister from the other side, no member from the other side
should be on the panel.
Should be on the panel because in all senses, you know, 1 against 1. Moko vote to a lobby. In Tom Quajis Kanma Sorko. Where 13, where 13. Obiani Pipi Nibia Betramane, and I sanity. MPP ni bia betwa manage MPP for no minister bia chusu no bia no 13 members nyina yeah
so twa you
yeah into per 5 e wa ha dia ba beka ho enti dia kan eden ye namfo rob my back echina could be you no matter no mko enti anentina mo wesi country any time
mama mbisa wansa na edi enkomo ni ba wi mama mbisa you made mention of the fact that in our part of the world, we've not come to fully understand democracy.
Yes.
What do we need to do to understand democracy?
Democracy must have a consistent build-up of changes. The changes that impacting the people. Democracy must see, say, governance, administration, not only politics, governance, administration, better economy. But is that this is what we talk about, democratic nation. Democratic nation gives rights to people, to children, to women, to you and I, that I have the chance. So I don't need to have my father in government before I can get employment. Democratic nation does not tolerate, say, presidency, any list, to the sense that JSS exams, JS, junior secondary school exam results. You have a list at the Command Ministry of Education. Man Krawe, Opoku Areha, Preseka. Is that democratic nation? No. Democracy does not mean say no young interview, job employment. But what papa no why? Me papa de akwesi ade. What hene, what bogo so e de ba adwuma, or farmer, okay.
Odokoko.
The boy farmer, the cocoon cran, or farmer. Bo no don kate no me na kuku. Jinaha. Majority I say. Or resourcing is not what they are looking at it. That's undemocratic nation. But where democracy gives a fairness, a fair balance, equal platform for everybody to be able to what? To show your capacity and contribute towards the national income. Majority I say. Have we gotten there yet? No. Policing, omo kwa, yadeni yadi piku omo. Protocol. Immigration, protocol. Customs, protocol. Prison officer, obi okwachi protocol. And every sector, a democratic nation, beacon of democracy, baby a protocol. With democracy now so practicing. Why is it? Now say 275 members of country, 275, and actually 30 million. Now my character here, when the Bible said this kind of infant questions way of parliament because they are your colleagues.
Happy.
And not BBC.
What is fish farming?
And not BBC. I'm say honorable Adjusafua. Yes. Obetina ho. Edena ebae. Ni colleagues ni who say ampa owe yanche okohwe ne ba. Nti adwa we de yankwa anim yagyaw. Ko. Questions ye musa bibibi. Nti sa me agenda information a me pa choment no ho. Majority I say.
Open social protection policies and strategies.
Mente.
Programs ni implementation plans I want to.
Ba ye nua ba no susu front to ma fifie na ba ye. Za adwa so no ho fe. Odi nani die nanim die na betena ase. Enti se ni anim sa da na mo wasting the time e ma no fifie ba. To come and do what? Because she will be approved. Or your colleague. Or honorable member. Or a ranking member. Now I'm not fie. Some of you say Akra na yastic. And the day say beyond Akra ni dia. I can strongly say honorable some crowds the house girls will fee. But what I then and that kind of I say one both parties MPP and DC. I say edu ha ye ni say edu ha ye ni say. Na say other person also ba ho. No so catch you say honorable members Bamcho meba na my wife the fabro de hano nti o kolebu kakra o bet baka so ne de on will be from to. Can you do that? Na sure say question so nyina ne personal obi we obi ayi we say we kaka say publication we say na ya boxing nyina together. Democratic nation doesn't do that. Once more, democratic nation will not do it. Say, what Ministry of Foreign Affairs that's supposed to be the engineer, collector, moving and then making sure that the country international investments or a mobilizer. Now we are ambassadorial appointments. Or career diplomats at foreign affairs, secretaries at foreign affairs. Nyinara baako na waje your friend say your family ministry you are your ambassadorial no one wo list no political career country be na yesa say bi ensehunu no say we find because of politics how they call political death of the embassy. You don't take somebody excuse me to say on him the difference between where to stand or where to start to listen when they visit nations. You don't take Obia or free party. What did I call as an activist? Now Pejaya bam diplomatic nation like UK, London, now the Nakoto. Over not to Paris, over not to Berlin, over not to Washington, and yet only anything next to diplomacy. Now career diplomacy. What now are frustrating? Ne do say omo call transfer and that's a posting sir. No, I call for woman be room last year. Anam so omi di protocol no omi na ko Berlin omi na ko ha omi na ko Japan omi na ko ha na omi ko ni adiwa wo no fi say wo de ko sefa wo ten ukrom ne
Akuanze
Akuanze mfanti kro
there be achim
aha o say no esa ko ni je by your name we aswa obi nkan je say foreign affairs because we didn't maintain that e kurenti I cry what is now. What's up to Dakuman? One and found call. No. One call. Do you understand me? Now, maybe Banami to come to my out here, Dakuma. Oh, Dakuma over Quanipa. No. Jaquazi, as you put a loom, and I call J, and I chat. That is what a democratic nation operates. Is that how they operate? For foreign affairs, Nako from no common troubles and show. Obia did 16 years. Why a secretary, top class, diplomatic secretary, on court transfer, not even Togo border. Obia did 3 years, or New York. Wouldn't that person be frustrated? I mean, you are my friend, Edgar Pierre or Maryland. Edgar, I'm a very good friend. Edgar, hello, is one of the best guys who had been mine. Long serving a friend. He's the first person to have interviewed me in this country way back 21 years ago.
Wow.
First person. And when he interviewed me the first time, he never stopped until he relocated. Edgar, take care of yourself and the children, my boys. Auntie, your
problem.
Your problem. And we don't want to deal with it. We do not want to deal with it. And it is so sad. Very sad.
Mr. Al-Wahab Farouk.
Yes, sir. Now, me now also obey the interview and this interview.
Obekasa.
Ama
a NDC.
Okay. Election petition. Madam for pardon no. Oh, politics in TSA and crime. Mini Shakwam Kasa Misu because one kind of crunch. Mr. Has meaning now that tested you 25 hours. Once Russian politics to Tobasi. What about in some of the can? Meet here, Pancha Yamasaba.
I'm the Zama one, and you be a team.
I said to my beer, Panam. Honorable Siama Transport Minister.
Yeah.
Yami and Satra 1 seat. But me, an honorable. I'm on channel, mammy. Who need that since I miss?
Al-Wahab Farouk, Uba, Happy FM studios. If I want to Benjamin Deso, now only have to train come.
Yamin come.
Me did it say, you better and share you, you better train come because and someone Kosu or man with the Dawson. Now, in your dini bit to say what now, what threatening some of my teen, someone say. Now, Emma Bunu, I have my issue is with Emma Bunu, I have says I'm a Nipa Pinoa politicians.
But the point again is that, let me just support you. The youth that we expected so we would take over the reins of the old politician, the political class of Ghana. Say youth no be rap politics. I'm sorry we told you it's we are from for number 2.
Happy FM. Happy 98.9 FM and what's good to out here.
Happy and